Why you can't focus. A 2,400-year-old Greek insight explains everything. The real problem. There is a reason your mind refuses to cooperate when you try to study, and it has nothing to do with your phone. Long before notifications, algorithms, and endless scrolling existed, Greek philosophers noticed the same problem you're facing today. Have you ever sat down with the intention to study, opened a book, read the same paragraph again and again, and somehow nothing went in? Your eyes moved, your brain was technically present, but you were somewhere else. Everyone gives you the same advice. Remove distractions, use timers, study harder, push through. And yet, nothing changes. You're not lazy, you're not broken, and the truth is more uncomfortable than blaming technology. If you've ever studied not because you were curious, but because you were afraid of failure, disappointing others, or falling behind, then this video is for you. Before we continue, pause for a second. Comment below, what subject drains you the most? Now, let's begin. Chapter 1. The Pressure. Let me tell you about Daniel. Daniel is 18, lives in a small town. First in his family aiming for university. Everyone is counting on him. Every book he opens feels heavy. Not intellectually, emotionally. When he studies physics, his chest tightens. Each page feels like a silent judgment. He studies for hours, notes, videos, summaries. Yet, when the test comes, the knowledge collapses. Worse than bad grades is the feeling that others get it effortlessly. Daniel isn't avoiding work, he's drowning in expectation, and his mind knows it. Chapter 2. The False Progress Trap. Daniel believes he's learning, but what he's actually doing is escaping discomfort. Whenever confusion appears, he skips the hard question, searches for a shortcut, watches another explanation. Not to understand, but to feel relief. This creates a dangerous illusion. I've seen this before, so I must understand it. But recognition is not comprehension. Recognition disappears the moment the problem changes. Daniel is busy, but he is not thinking. Chapter 3. What the Greeks Understood. One afternoon, exhausted, Daniel wanders into the school library. Not looking for answers, just trying to avoid studying. A thin philosophy book catches his attention. Inside, a line stops him cold. All genuine understanding begins in astonishment. The Greeks had a word for this state. Not confusion as failure, but confusion as beginning. They believed not knowing wasn't shameful, it was necessary. Only when the mind admits, "I don't understand this," does real learning start. Daniel realizes something painful. He has spent months trying to hide his ignorance instead of exploring it. Chapter 4. The Reversal. The next day, Daniel opens his most hated topic. Not with urgency, not with fear. He does something radical. He stops. No formula, no solution. He asks one question. Why does this behave the way it does? And he waits. 10 minutes pass. Nothing feels clear. His brain resists. It wants escape. But he stays. Then slowly, images form. Connections appear. Not answers. Structures. When he finally checks the textbook, something strange happens. The explanation feels familiar. Not because he memorized it, but because his mind was already building it. Chapter 5. Why this works. Neuroscience confirms what philosophers intuited centuries ago. When you sit with confusion, instead of fleeing it, your brain reorganizes itself. This state activates deeper learning systems, not memory, not repetition, reconstruction. That's why memorization fades, understanding adapts. Daniel studies less content, but absorbs more meaning. Chapter 6. The Cost. This approach is slower. Others race ahead, finish assignments faster, seem more efficient, Daniel lags behind. But something changes. When questions shift, he adapts. When problems evolve, he understands. He isn't recalling answers, he's reasoning through them. Chapter 7. The Result. On exam day, Daniel faces unfamiliar questions. Others panic. Daniel doesn't. He isn't searching memory, he's following logic. Weeks later, the results arrive. He passes comfortably. But the real victory isn't the score. It's this. He no longer fears not knowing. Confusion has become a signal, not a threat. Final lesson. The secret of focus. You don't lack discipline. You lack fascination. Focus isn't forced. It emerges naturally when curiosity is alive. The Greeks understood this. Learning doesn't begin with answers. It begins with questions you're willing to sit with. So next time you study, don't ask, "How fast can I finish this?" Ask, "Why does this exist at all?" And stay there. Confusion is not your enemy. It is the doorway. If this changed how you see learning, subscribe for more deep-thinking content. Comment below, which subject will you approach differently this week? Remember, the mind was never meant to memorize life. It was meant to understand it. Until next time.